Alright, buckle up, buttercups, because we're diving headfirst into a dumpster fire of MAGA voter embarrassment. We've got folks realizing their heroes aren't so heroic, and their beliefs are, well, kinda busted. It's a public faceplant, and frankly, it's kinda hilarious. Welcome back to Mind Mirror. Let's get into it.
That's a disgrace. I'm very upset about that. I mean, how egotistical can you possibly be? I'm ashamed that he would actually do that. A man I voted for and trust.
Let's talk about the MAGA Filipinos. It is deeply embarrassing to watch some of you move like proximity to whiteness is a shield. Like if you clap loud enough, defend hard enough, bootlick enthusiastically enough, somehow ICE is going to look at you and say, "No, not you. You're one of the good ones." Are you gago? You are not white. No matter how hard you try, no matter how much you bleach, filter, straighten, soften, assimilate, whiteness is not a rewards program. There is no platinum membership for being the loudest in the comments, defending policies that would absolutely swallow your own communities whole. And let's really get into it. A lot of you grew up Catholic.
Yo, this first clip is calling out MAGA Filipinos who think proximity to whiteness is some kind of VIP pass, like bootlicking harder gets you into some exclusive club. It's wild. They're really out here thinking if they defend these policies with enough energy, they'll be spared. But nah, man, that's not how it works. Whiteness ain't a reward program. No platinum status for being the loudest troll in the comments section, especially when those policies would literally swallow your own communities whole. And for folks who grew up Catholic, remembering love thy neighbor and care for the poor seems to have gone out the window. Jesus would not approve of this level of hypocrisy. It's a tough pill to swallow when your actions contradict your supposed values. Time to wake up and smell the coffee, people.
In the culture, you know the verses, love thy neighbor, care for the poor, protect the vulnerable.
Okay, so I have a very important public service announcement to some guys who are trolling me and because of where I live and stuff, saying, it's so funny. It's funny. Saying that where I live that I don't deserve to have Sublime as a band. You do understand that Bradley Noel is literally rolling over in his grave right now, right? Like, he doesn't belong to you guys. It's just, gosh, like, how stupid you have to be. Like, I think of, like, so many bands that I love and so many bands that, like, you know, some of you people claim to love. And it's like, do you listen to the lyrics? Like, can you logically process the lyrics? Like, do you understand? Do you understand the music? Like, you like Sublime, Rage Against the Machine, Dropkick Murphys. All I can say is how embarrassing.
Things keep getting worse and worse for the MAGA Music Festival that's supposed to take place this summer, headlined by Kid Rock. This MAGA-aligned music tour has already seen Creed, Ludacris, and Morgan Wade drop out, while Jelly Roll is no longer committing to all the shows. He'll be at select shows across the country. The attendance levels are so low in some cities that they are now offering 50% off tickets to the show. And get this, the concert promoters are calling this a discount to support those who want to attend because of higher gas prices, an issue that Kid Rock's bestie, Donald Trump, single-handedly created. And apparently, many of the concert goers who did decide to buy tickets are furious because they're now offering deep discounts and Jelly Roll won't be performing at many of the shows. You would have thought that concert promoters would have pulled the plug when Kid Rock was lip-syncing on Turning Point USA's halftime show, or when he was chugging milk with RFK.
Okay, so this next clip is about these Trump cultists getting screwed over by their orange god king, and honestly, it's a classic. This dude is crying because his wife, a nurse, lost her VA job offer thanks to Trump's hiring freeze. They moved their whole life, thousands of miles, and boom, dream job evaporates. It's like, bro, you really thought the president had your back? Newsflash, he barely has his own back half the time. And now your wife is in tears. Your family is devastated. All because you believed the hype. This is the MAGA experience in a nutshell, folks. Loyalty gets you squat when the rug pull happens. You put your faith in a guy who's probably never heard of Waco, Texas, let alone cared about your move. Get ready for more of this. It's just the beginning of the fallout.
Oh no! Another Trump cultist just got screwed over by his orange God King. I just came across a tweet posted by a Trump cultist, and he is just whining and freaking out and panicked because he and his wife just found out that Donald Trump screwed them over. Let me read what he wrote. All caps. Attention! Please help! President Trump and Ted Cruz. My wife is a nurse and was recently hired by the VA. Our home is packed up. We have a new home. We spent thousands to move our family from Fort Worth to Waco. Following Trump's hiring freeze executive order, the VA rescinded her job offer. My wife is in tears and inconsolable, and my family is devastated. It has been my wife's dream to work with needy disabled veterans. I'm a disabled vet.
These Trump supporters in Maryland are finding out the hard way. Chrisfield, Maryland, a tiny seafood town on the Chesapeake Bay, voted overwhelmingly for Trump in 2024. They backed him hard. Even while their streets were flooding, businesses were leaving, and the town was slowly sinking into water. They thought Trump would look out for places like theirs. But I'm sure you can guess how much Trump cares about a little town in Maryland. If you said not at all, you'd be correct. His administration pulled the plug on a $36 million FEMA grant that Chrisfield had already won. Money meant to keep their town above water. Literally. After years of planning, after getting approval, after setting everything in motion, the town decided to vote against it by voting for Trump. The programs that were supposed to help small towns like Chrisfield deal with flooding and extreme weather, gone. And it's all thanks to the guy they voted for. And the mayor of Chrisfield is still holding out hope, hoping that their loyalty will count for something. They should have asked Mike Pence how his loyalty to Trump turned out for him. One local business owner had plans to build...
I'm sure by now you guys have seen this viral video of a South Florida woman who regrets voting for Trump after her father was arrested by ICE. And the story goes that her father has 6 months to live. He has cancer. They're petitioning ICE to let him get out of the detention facility so he could spend the rest of his days with his family, rightfully so. But I have a lot of questions for Cynthia, the woman who allegedly regret.
All right, so this whole situation with Cynthia, the Florida woman regretting voting for Trump because her dad's in ICE custody and has 6 months to live, it's complex, but the analysis here is sharp. She's digging into Cynthia's TikTok and voter registration, pointing out the pronouns in her bio and her Democratic Party registration, which, okay, people can vote for whoever they want. But the real question is about the practical steps. Could she have petitioned for her father's permanent residency or citizenship? Why is he in ICE custody in the first place? Is there a criminal record involved? It feels like maybe some immigrants are missing opportunities to resolve their status legally. Instead of waiting for a deportation to happen, it's about taking proactive steps. You know, if you have the power and the knowledge, use it to help your family navigate the system. Don't just wait and complain later.
It's voting for Trump because her story just simply doesn't add up. And here's why. If you take a look at Cynthia's TikTok, she has pronouns on her bio. She's 25 years old. Pronouns on your bio, already a red flag for me, but it actually gets a little bit more confusing. I was actually able to find Cynthia's voter registration, and I see that she's registered to the Democratic Party of Florida. Fine with me. She probably is a Democrat who voted for Trump. We know that that happened. But really, my questions for Cynthia is, being a 25-year-old U.S. citizen, how come you didn't petition for your father to become a permanent resident, green card holder, and then he could become a citizen? Is it because he has a criminal record? Is it because he wants to be illegal and get paid under the table and not pay taxes? I actually have a lot of questions. You have the ability to do that. This is, once again, a case of lack of accountability by immigrants who could have solved their immigration issues and not be deported.
Do you guys remember this lady? Well, I'm trying not to laugh. This is her now.
It's been happening frequently at the 333 Miami Avenue Federal Court building. Janet Correa's husband was detained this week. According to her immigration lawyer, he has already been placed on expedite removal.
They voted for Donald Trump. Donald Trump deport. You heard that right, guys. Janet Correa, the famous Trump singing lady, has had her husband detained by ICE. And not only that, but he got put on expedited removal. They want him out of the U.S. They don't want him. But of course, we've been telling them this all along. They don't want you, bro. Also, do you remember the time I went viral because I told people to call ICE on Latinos for Trump and the family members of Latinos for Trump? It looks like it's happening, and I couldn't be happier. You reap what you sow, and I stand by what I say. But anyways, play silly games, get silly prizes. Let me know what you guys think.
You ever notice how arguing with a Trump supporter feels like arguing with a child? You use facts, they scream fake news. You use logic, they say you have TDS. There's a psychological reason for that, and it explains everything. In 2013, a political researcher named Alberto Brandolini discovered something that changed how we understand political lying. It takes 10 times more energy to disprove a lie than it does to tell a lie. We call it Brandolini's Law. Here's how it works. Producing a lie takes...
This dude's Brandolini's Law breakdown is so important, seriously. It explains why arguing with a Trump supporter feels like talking to a brick wall. They spew lies, and it takes way more effort to debunk them with facts and logic than it does for them to just make stuff up. Trump just repeats the same false narratives over and over. No new wars, greatest economy ever, stolen election, crimes high, and it would take hours to disprove each one. And by then, he's already dropped 30 more lies. It's a psychological warfare tactic to exhaust you, to make you give up. They don't need smart followers. They need loyal ones who never question anything. And that system is working perfectly, sadly.
Zero effort, no sources, no research, no evidence. You just say it. Disproving that same exact lie requires sources, context, data, peer-reviewed studies that nobody's going to read anyway. Trump uses the same 4 lies on repeat. He said no new wars. We're at war with Iran right now. He said he created the greatest economy in history. It's not. He said the election was stolen. It wasn't. He said crime is at an all-time high. It isn't. 4 lies in 10 seconds. It would take hours to disprove those lies. And by the time you disprove those lies, he has said 30 more lies already. That's Brandolini's Law in action. This is why you can't win. You're not having a debate. You're playing a game designed to exhaust you into giving up. Trump doesn't need to win an argument. He just needs to lie faster than you can keep up. His supporters keep falling for the lies because no one ever taught them to question what they hear. They were never given the tools to recognize when they are being lied to. And the people running this game built the system that way on purpose. They keep his followers uneducated for this very reason. They don't need smart followers. They need loyal ones. And the system is working perfectly.
To think that a child of 5 or 6 can determine that they want to be a boy because they're a girl, or they're a girl and they want to be a boy, and that the state or wherever they're living has the right to put them through transformation or transition, and the parents don't have a say. Now, that's not legal in all places.
I was going to say, that's not happening. That isn't happening. I mean, like, no. There are people talking about it, but there's no sort of political movement to make it happen for 5 and 6-year-olds.
Oh, yeah? What was the recent Pride events? What were they?
Pride events was gay pride, that it's been...
Oh, and the transgender didn't enter into the picture at all? Have you seen their new flag?
Sure, yeah. But transgender has nothing to do with 5 and 6-year-olds. I mean, but if you're born gay in America, you should be able to have pride.
Do whatever you want, but don't destroy the children. I'm just saying that's one part of the agenda, which is really bad.
Who are you voting for this year?
Well, obviously Donald J. Trump.
And why is that?
Taxes were low. Now the country's a mess. In the last 4 years, my business every year has declined underneath Biden.
Did you know we're still under Trump tax policy?
Trump, no, actually that's not true because...
This is getting wild. So the conversation is about Trump's tax policy versus Biden's impact on businesses. And she's trying to clarify that Trump's tax cuts didn't just vanish. It's like, okay, let's get the facts straight. Taxes were raised, but that wasn't directly tied to Trump's tax policy, which seems to be a point of contention. Then it spirals into why would a victim lie, which is a common deflection tactic, and the idea that the timing of accusations is suspicious is just another way to discredit the accuser. The whole evidence wasn't enough for a unanimous jury argument is a classic legal debate point. But the judge still indicated forceful penetration, which is a big deal. People need to understand that legal outcomes and personal testimonies are different beasts, and dismissing someone's experience because it's inconvenient is not the vibe.
The taxes were raised.
That's due to Trump tax policy.
I don't believe so.
Let's clarify. Someone goes and chops your leg off, okay? Right? You were the only one that saw this. Should we believe you?
That's different. I'm the victim.
Oh, so only when you're the victim should we believe you. But if someone else is the victim, we shouldn't believe them.
Why would the victim lie about something that happened to them? That doesn't make sense.
Oh, so why would the 18-year-old lie about something that happened to them? Why would E. Jean Carroll lie about something that happened to her?
Oh, I love.
Why would the 26 women lie about the misconduct they claim that Donald Trump engaged in towards them?
I can answer that. I can answer that. So why did E. Jean Carroll wait 28 years? She decided to go after him during his first presidency run. Don't you think the timing was impeccable? And let's not forget the fact that she didn't have any compelling evidence other than a testimony of her best friend, which is kind of biased. And what else? She had a photo of her and Trump. Like, that's not very compelling evidence. That's why she couldn't go after him for rape, and she had to just settle, which, by the way, he appealed it.
He lost the appeal, and they didn't settle. He was forced to pay, okay? And the evidence was enough to get the entire unanimous decision of a jury to say that Donald Trump E. Jean Carroll, and the judge indicated that that meant forcefully penetrating against her will. So if you think that a man forcefully penetrating against her will is not, what do you consider to be?
No, absolutely it is, but that's not what happened.
Okay, that's exactly what happened.
Oh no, I really hope Bill Clinton isn't in the Epstein files. I'll have to get rid of my Bill Clinton hat, and my Bill Clinton sneakers, and my Bill Clinton cologne, and my Bill Clinton watch, and I'll have to take down my Bill Clinton flag, and I'll have to delete my Bill Clinton NFT trading cards. Just wanted to read that post to you guys really quick. This is the thing about finding out that Bill Clinton sent a letter to Epstein. We all already probably knew that he was on the list or in the files, and we have all been advocating for it to be released regardless, knowing that Clinton and Democrats are also in those files. We don't give a shit. That's the difference between us versus y'all, is we are not going to go to the ends of the earth making up every single excuse trying to get people to drop the Epstein files. We want them released regardless of whether we have Dems in there or not. And we want them to all be charged regardless of party. Again, that's the difference between us and y'all. You guys have taken to this app to make excuses for Donald Trump for the past 5 weeks over Epstein. You guys in Congress, Republicans in Congress, continue to vote against releasing the Epstein files. Donald Trump continues to deflect. All of you guys continue to deflect.
The Epstein Files drama is reaching peak MAGA contortions. They're trying to deflect, blame Democrats, and generally muddy the waters. But here's the kicker. Republicans in Congress are also voting against releasing these files, and Donald Trump himself is deflecting. This guy calls out that difference perfectly. Some people want the truth out, no matter who's implicated, while others are busy making excuses and spinning narratives to protect their guy. It's not about party, it's about accountability. And it seems some folks are more scared of the truth than others, honestly. If you're worried about Bill Clinton being in those files, that's on you. But don't use that to stop the investigation into everyone. We want them released. We want charges, regardless of who's involved. That's the whole point.
That's the difference. My name is Mercedes Chandler. Give me a follow or you won't see my face again. Thank you, goodbye, and arrest them all.
I scammed MAGA for 30 bands. I got the money and ran. Charlie Kirk is dead now. So we clap our hands and we do the money dance. Trump's a homosexual. Trump is a faggot for beefing with Iran. Why you trying to bomb Iran?
All right, the fissures in the MAGA movement continue, and Tucker Carlson is now apologizing publicly on his podcast for his involvement in supporting Trump. Let's play the clip.
You and I and everyone else who supported him, you wrote speeches for him, I campaigned for him. I mean, we're implicated in this for sure. Yes. It's not enough to say, well, I changed my mind, or like, oh, this is bad, I'm out. It's like, in very small ways, but in real ways, you and me and millions of people like us are the reason this is happening right now. Yes. So I do think it's like a moment to wrestle with our own consciences. We'll be tormented by it for a long time. I will be. And I want to say I'm sorry for misleading people. It was not intentional. That's all I'll say. But anyway, but the question does present itself immediately, like, what is this? Was this always the plan? You don't want to be a conspiracy nut, but like, clearly there were signs of low character. We knew that.
I've heard enough. I've heard enough. I've heard enough. Him saying, and I'd like to welcome Josh, attorney and husband of mine, to.
This is a Trump rally. If you don't like it, don't come here to protest. Don't come if you're uneducated and you don't know what you're talking about.
You would rather they just didn't come here?
I would rather them not come here.
Are you a fan of the First Amendment?
Absolutely. Absolutely. You know, the right to bear arms. Look, this is.
That's not the First Amendment.
No, the Fourth Amendment. But I'm saying.
That's not the Fourth Amendment either.
Which one is it?
So why are we out here today?
We're out here to give support to a president that shows that he is.
This clip is pure MAGA delusion, folks. She's out here supporting a president who she thinks would have stopped Putin from invading Ukraine by, what, threatening him? It's like she missed the entire world order and geopolitical reality. She believes Trump's tough guy persona would magically prevent wars because he wouldn't put up with anything. He'd just tell leaders what he thinks face to face and threaten retaliation. This is the fantasy world they live in, where the world bends to Trump's will. She talks about him being qualified, but when asked for specifics on how he made her life better, she resorts to vague notions of the economy and affordability, like walk up with a car full of groceries compared to a little half a bag full now. Seriously? This is the kind of thinking that gets us into trouble, relying on wishes and vibes instead of actual policy and results.
Working for the United States of America in a very, very brave way.
How would you imagine that Trump as president would have stopped Putin from going into Ukraine?
Absolutely, because Trump doesn't put up with anything, and he would have, he would have threatened them, and this wouldn't have happened. He would not put up with anything. He would let them know face to face what he thinks, and he would let them know, like, hey, basically, if you do this to us, we're going to do this back to you. Don't even try.
Don't you want the most qualified person, even though it might be a so-called, swamp member, lobbyist, or whatnot? Is that not the best thing to do?
Is there anything specific that he did to make your life better?
A lot of stuff. I mean, he was, I would say, for the economy, housing, all that stuff, a lot affordable. You could go in the grocery store and buy food and, walk out with a car full. Now you get a little half a bag full of food.
Dude, go ahead and take it away. Tell us why you're MAGA.
Okay, so I'm pro-Trump for sure, like 100%. Always W-Trump. That's basically like why am I pro-Trump? Is what you're saying?
Yeah.
Okay. So
Blue girl.
Why
pro-Trump?
So pro-Trump is gonna. I'm just pro-Trump just because I feel like he needs to make those tough decisions, and everyone else I don't even know everyone else, but basically I feel like there's a low amount of people that are gonna be able to make those tough decisions that everyone else is gonna say. Because, this is what happens. This is what happens in, politics all the time.
Is the breaking news of the day literally how he's not fit to make the tough decisions to the extent that top military officials locked him out of the Situation Room so he couldn't
I get what
make
you're
the tough
saying,
decisions?
but that is, one situation where, it happened, but for the other situation...
Can you point towards that happening with any other president?
People get into office and then they care about their polls, and then they try to see how they can be reelected again. And it's they only care about
be reelected again because he's already served 2 terms.
Yeah, but after he was not reelected again, and so then he had to play politics to get back in office. And so basically, he's less concerned about being
because it doesn't really seem to be the case that you're responding to any of the points that I'm making.
No, I'm just saying why I support Trump. I was still saying that, and you kind of cut me off for a second.
My bad. Go ahead.
Okay. So I just feel like you're good. So I just feel like when they get into office, they try to make all these politically correct moves in order to appease their group and appease their sponsors and everything like that help them get into office. And I feel like Trump doesn't really care a lot about that. He just wants to be a great president for the United States. And I feel like he's doing a good job at that, specifically putting us back on the board kind of thing.
Okay, so this guy is trying to justify supporting Trump by saying he's not politically correct, doesn't care about appeasing groups, and just wants to be great for the U.S., boosting world power levels. He claims America was a joke under Biden and is now respected again. This is a classic MAGA talking point, but the reality check here is brutal. Global polls show Kamala Harris leading Trump by a massive margin, and he's genuinely hated on the global stage. They're not piping Fox News propaganda into the brains of people worldwide, so globally, they see him for the idiotic maniac he is, attacking the Pope. Claiming to be God, it's a harsh but accurate assessment, and it completely dismantles the America is respected again narrative. People aren't stupid, and they see through the BS.
With world power levels and stuff like
so
that. I don't know. I feel like we were really a joke after the Biden situation. People just laughed at us, and now they're not really laughing at us like that anymore. It's pretty crazy. As far as
switching, how is he increasing our power level? That's what he said?
Yeah.
Okay. So I think that he's making strategic plays, like, taking over Venezuela, overthrowing. He's not negotiating with, which is what we've been doing a lot of in the past. And I feel like instead of negotiating with when they're going to keep being stuff, he's actually taking action and being like, hey, we're done negotiating with you guys. If you're a threat to America, especially if you're saying death to America, that's not okay anymore. We're in the 21st century. Like, you guys need to act right, or you're not going to be making decisions anymore.
Okay. Yeah, so you said a lot, but at the same time said absolutely nothing. So you said that we command more respect on the global stage because of Trump, and that we are a laughingstock under Biden, and now everybody loves us under Trump. That couldn't be further from the truth. The Guttmacher Institute does global polls on approval ratings of the American president and American presidential candidates during elections, and Kamala Harris led Trump by a 24-point margin. Like, it is ridiculous how much Donald Trump is hated on the global stage, because they're not piping fake news through Fox Entertainment into the brains of all the old white people globally the same way they are here at home in America, painting Donald Trump to be anything other than who he is, which is truly an idiotic maniac who in the last 2 weeks has attacked the Pope, praised Allah on Easter, called himself a Christian, and claimed to be God, on top of a threat of genocide against 90 million people. Another point that you made is that, well, instead of negotiating with, he's just taking them out. Well, unironically, he couldn't take out the quote-unquote terrorists, the IRGC, okay, claiming that he wanted a regime change and throw them back to the Stone Ages. He couldn't do it, so now he's negotiating with them. So by your own... So why do you think that deporting immigrants makes the job market better off? Why do you think that?
Yes, indeed, because, well, as far as the construction industry goes, it opens up. So our young men who are going to trade schools right now can get jobs. And
I can tell you why you're wrong.
Why am I wrong about that, Dan? Please.
Because
please inform
jobs are created by economic productivity, and economic productivity is created by more people working than spending money. When you do a mass deportation of 8.3 million of our laborers and 12 million of our consumers that generate $1.1 through $1.7 trillion worth of economic...
This whole debate about immigration and jobs is a prime example of MAGA misinformation. They're screaming about mass deportation and how it's killing the job market, pointing to bad job reports and bankruptcies. But the reality is, immigrants contribute to economic productivity and stimulus. Taking them out actually hurts the economy by reducing laborers and consumers. He talks about jobs being created by economic productivity, which is true, but that productivity increases with more people working and spending. When you deport millions of workers and consumers, you're actively harming that stimulus. They're twisting the narrative to fit their agenda, ignoring the data that shows the positive economic impact of immigrants. It's a desperate attempt to cling to a flawed ideology, even when the numbers don't back it up.
Stimulus annually. Then you lose jobs because you lose more people that are making money than spending that money in the market. Maybe this is one of the reasons why in the last year, 2025, we saw an historic high level of undocumented immigrants deported, alongside the very worst jobs report since 2003, ignoring recessions, the most manufacturing bankruptcies since 2010, and the highest level of unemployment and the most layoffs since the pandemic.
Okay, can you look up also the stats of how many American citizens are currently unemployed?
I actually think it's, 4.9%? It's only gone up since Donald Trump started his mass deportation?
Okay, that's because a lot of people, it takes time. It takes time for people to figure out what's going on, and they can get these jobs.
It's actually not 4.9, it's 4.3.
But still, these jobs, them people leaving creates more jobs for American citizens who are already here. I told you why
that's not true.
And why is it not? If you just said,
jobs are created by more economic productivity, and we lose economic productivity when we do mass deportation.
Well, that was a roller coaster of MAGA-fueled embarrassment, wasn't it? From people realizing their heroes aren't who they thought, to folks getting hit with the consequences of blind loyalty, it's a masterclass in cognitive dissonance. The common thread? A refusal to face reality and own their decisions. What surprised you the most from these clips? Let me know in the comments below. Like, share, subscribe.